Okay, I think we're good. All right, welcome, Stats 10. I'm Miles Chen. You guys can call me Miles, that's okay. And my email is right there. I've posted my office hours to CCLE. Basically, Mondays from 3 to 4 and Wednesdays from 11 to noon. And this is how your grade will be determined. So, how do I? Okay. So you'll have 4 quizzes. They're worth 4% each. We'll have 2 midterms worth 15% each, 30% final exam. You'll also have 4 lab assignments worth 4% each, 5% homework, and 5% iClicker attendance and participation. Okay? So please get yourself an iClicker. Some of you guys already have one in order, so you guys have, those of you who don't have one will have time to get one. I will start using the iClicker the 3rd week. Okay, 3rd week Monday, I'll start using that, and that's when your points will start accumulating there. Okay. Until then, you'll need to get one. I'll put up some instructions on how to register your remote with CCLE. You can get them used and register them with CCLE no problem. Okay. And that's that. I apologize that the retail price for them is really expensive, but you can probably find another student willing to sell theirs much cheaper, okay? Okay, and so if you add all of this up, it adds up to 102%. So if you get everything, you'll get over 100% in the class, okay? And then on the exams, I usually have a bonus question or two. And so you can get over 100% on your exams as well. So I think last quarter I had students finishing with 105% and things like that. So it shouldn't be too bad. This is the textbook we're using, and I know I sent a bunch of emails out about this. So so it looks like this is the second edition. I had questions about whether you can use the first edition or not. As far as content goes, the first edition and the second edition are pretty similar. The second edition has a few extra sections that the first edition does not have. But the problem comes when you're trying to do the homework. They decided to renumber all of the problems and stuff. And so as far as the homework assignments go, if you get the first edition, you'll probably want to find a classmate to get access to the homework problems. Apart from that, it's up to you. I think it's easier just to go to the second edition, but I also know it costs more. And again, you don't need the stat lab stuff. You don't need the stat crunch or the CD or any of that extra stuff. You just need the text, okay? And I think they sell either like the Essential Edition or the UCLA edition at the bookstore. That's fine. Basically, we're only going to cover the first 9 chapters of the text, and so the Essential and the UCLA versions have that. That's that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to post homework assignments online. I'm not actually going to collect homework. Okay, so we're going to go on the honor system here. And I'm going to just assume and believe that all of you are doing your homework. But I'm not actually going to check. And at the end of the quarter, I'm going to give everybody 100% for their homework grade. Okay? And it worked last quarter. Nobody complained. I don't think any of you guys will complain this quarter. Okay? So is that good? All right. You do have labs. You don't need to buy the lab manual. I'll post the lab instructions in PDF form on CCLE. You have to attend your assigned lab section. There are limited seats in the computer lab, so I can't have you guys switching sections around, and that's why I'm also, I don't know if any of you are waitlisted or trying to get in. I can't give out PTEs and stuff like that because of the limited seat seating situation with the computer lab. Now, when you go to the computer lab, I have a feeling some students will skip section, and so there probably will be an open seat or two, but just in case everybody shows up, I can't add more than the number of seats we have, okay? Yeah, question?
So is it required that you go to your respective section, or do all sections cover the same?
Okay, so I leave that up to TA discretion. If the TA is okay with you going to another section, that's fine with me. On days of the quiz, you'll take quizzes in section. On days of the quiz, you have to go to your assigned section, okay? Okay, you need a calculator. I'm assuming most of you guys have one, but if you don't, I recommend getting at least a scientific calculator. Last quarter, I saw some students trying to get through the course with just a 4-function calculator. Yes, you can do that, but you're just making your life a lot harder, okay? Spend $15 on a calculator. It'll go a long way, okay? And then, this is kind of the schedule of all the topics we're going to be covering here. So if, if you guys need, I don't know, to tell some future class that you took a stats course and this is what they covered, it's here, okay? All right, and now I'm also going to post this frequently asked questions document on CCLE. And so, can I attend another section? I think that's the same answer I gave you guys there. All right, and then, I'm going to miss class on this day, or, this is going to happen. So all of these questions are kind of answered here, or I've tried to. If your question's not answered here, you can always email me. Questions about, what do I do in a makeup situation? What do I do if something bad happens, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this will all be posted there on CCLE, so please take a look and read through it. Okay. Any other questions? Yes?
Is there an answer key for the homework?
Yes, I'll provide answers to the homework, okay? Yeah, so I'll post the homework problems, and then a few days later I'll post solutions to the homework problems, okay? And so, when you do your homework, I recommend trying to do them on your own first, and then verifying your answers afterwards, okay? If you just read through the answers, everything will make sense, and you're not really challenging yourself, and then when it comes to test time, you might be in trouble, okay? All right, anything else? All right. Okay, then, well, great, we'll get started. Let's see. Okay, well, before I get started, I do want to say something, I don't know, a little bit personal. It's spring quarter. I hope all of you have a great spring quarter. Nothing bad happens, okay? But that said, with a class of 160 of you, there is a statistical probability that one or two of you might endure some unusual hardship, and if that happens to you, I just want to remind you that your mental health, your physical health, and your integrity are much more important than any grade you can get in any class, okay? So if you need to drop a class or something, sometimes that's what you have to do. If you're experiencing some emotional trouble, I just want to remind you, you're not alone through it. There are people that care for you. There are resources on campus where you can get help. So don't feel like you're alone out there. Chances are 99% of you won't endure anything like that. And so my encouragement to you guys is, if you notice someone else going through something difficult, try to be a good friend to support one another. Okay, this is how we all get through life, and so just want to say that. again, I hope nothing bad happens to any of you, but life is hard. So, all right. That said, we'll get started. I'm looking forward to this quarter. I love statistics. Okay. I know that sounds funny, but I really do. When I took the introductory statistics class as an undergraduate student, I went to another college. I didn't come to UCLA. I came here for my graduate degrees. But when I took my intro stats class, it literally changed my life. I was an engineering major. I finished my engineering degree in undergrad, but after taking my stats class, I really fell in love with the subject of statistics. And after working for a couple years, I decided to come back to graduate school and study statistics. So I earned my PhD here at UCLA. This is actually my first year as a lecturer here, and I feel like I've got my dream job. This is my dream job, being here, teaching statistics to you guys. So, well, thank you. So I love teaching. I love the subject of statistics. Not all of you are going to be stats majors, but maybe some of you will really like this class, and maybe some of you will choose to major or minor in statistics after this course. I always have my hopes, right? So, you know, you guys are the paying customer. You guys are paying a lot of money to go here, maybe not as much as some other private schools, but it's still not free to come to this institution. It's a great institution, and I don't think you're going to find a better value in terms of your education anywhere. But you guys are the paying customers, so it's my job to keep you guys happy. Your student evaluations are very important, especially for me as a early, being early in my career. So, so anyway, I want to earn excellent reviews from you guys. I'll do what I think everything I can do to make your learning experience good. So anyway, we'll get started. I'm recording these lectures. These will be posted. Links to these videos will be posted on YouTube. Links to that will be on CCLE. I use this program to kind of write on this digital chalkboard, and I'll save my notes and post those as well as soon as CCLE starts working, which I hope it starts working soon. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk statistics, the greatest subject ever. Okay. So yes, I love statistics, and let's start off with this all-important question: why do we study statistics? Okay, I will answer this. Okay, we study statistics to gain a better understanding around us, and in particular, statistics allows us to make statistics allows us to make conclusions from limited data. All right, let me save this somewhere. All right, so what do I mean by that? Okay, well, generally we start off with some kind of research question, okay? we want to know, does this medication help cure cancer? Or does this, what is the average, I don't know, size of whatever something that we're interested in, okay? So we might have a research question. To answer this research question, we have to think about who our relevant population is, okay? Who's the relevant population? So if our question is, let's say example, does this medication help fight, I don't know, let's say lung cancer? Okay. Well, the population would be everyone relevant to answering this question, okay? So here our population would be everyone relevant to answering the question, which in this case would be everyone with lung cancer, okay? Because we want to know, does this medication work for people who have lung cancer? Okay, if you don't have lung cancer, or if someone doesn't have lung cancer, they're not really relevant to answering this question. Okay, however, what statistics says is that this population, everyone with lung cancer, this is too big of a population to study directly, okay? There might be, hundreds of thousands of people who have lung cancer, and it's too big. That's too many people for us to administer medication to. It's too many people for us to study directly, okay? So our population is almost always too big to be studied directly. Okay. If we're going to study the population directly, that study is called a census. Okay, when you study the entire population directly, that's going to be called a census. Okay, so studies that look at the entire population directly is called a census. Okay, but we do a census in the United States once every 10 years. We also have a form of a census every 4 years in the form of a presidential election. Okay, and those for election years we're trying to basically ask the question, what percentage of voters like this candidate over this candidate? Okay, and here we're trying to get the population directly. Censuses, or these types of studies, are very expensive, and you can only do really limited types of things. Just like, are you a person? Yes. Okay. Do you like this candidate? Yes or no? Okay. We can't. You can't really do medical trials on the population directly. Okay. So everything else, the population is too big to be studied directly. So because the population is too big, we generally take a sample of the population. Take a sample from the population, and we study the sample. Okay. Okay. Is everybody able to read the screen okay? We're good there? All right. This is what my handwriting looks like, so I hope it's okay. All right. Everyone's got this down? Okay, so just kind of an illustration. This thing is our population. Again, it's too big for direct study. So what we do is we just take a little piece out of it, okay? A little piece, and we're going to kind of magnify this piece. And this thing is called our sample, okay? And then we observe the sample. This is supposed to be an I. We observe and study the sample, and based on what we see in the sample, we will make conclusions about the population. Okay, and this process of based on what we see in the sample and making conclusions about the population, this is called statistical inference. Okay, so okay, and that's what I mean by saying we are going to make conclusions based on limited data. We don't have all the data in the population. We just have a limited sample, but based on that limited data, we can still make conclusions. Okay, so this is okay. Now, in order for our conclusions based on our sample to be valid about the population, our sample must be representative of the population, okay? Okay, so representative just means you have basically the population is represented. You do not have too many of one type of person or group, or you don't have too many or things like that, okay? Samples that are not representative are called biased samples, okay? So, for example, if we were to poll this classroom, who are you going to vote for president? The results that we would get from this classroom would be very different from the results that will happen on election night, okay? And that's because you as a classroom are not representative of the United States. You are representative of really no such group, okay? Maybe the argument could be made that you're representative of undergraduates at UCLA, but that's probably not true either, okay? It's, you know, you are just students in the Stats 10 class, okay? You are not really representative, just you guys as a group are not really representative of much else, okay? So a lot of research has been done into obtaining representative samples, and it's a difficult thing to do. It's a difficult thing to get true samples that are truly representative of the population, okay? So it is quite difficult. This is it, not his. Difficult to get a representative sample. Okay, so one way that should give us a representative sample but is not guaranteed to do so is what we call simple random sampling. Okay, what simple random sampling is, this you begin with what we call a sampling frame. Okay, begin with the sampling frame. The sampling frame is a list of everyone, or ideally is a list of everyone in the population, okay? Okay. If you have deficiencies in your sampling frame, then your sample will have the same deficiencies. Okay. So let's say we wanted to get a sampling frame for people living in the city of Los Angeles. What do you think we could use for a sampling frame? And the answer is I don't know, okay? I don't know if there exists a list of every single person living in Los Angeles. We have census data that's about 6 or 7 years old now. That's obviously going to be wrong because people have been born and people have died and people have moved out and people have moved into the city of Los Angeles in those past 6 or 7 years. We could use a phone book, but probably none of you are listed in the phone book. We could try to use, I don't know if Facebook would give us access, but we might be able to use Facebook and try to get a list of everyone who's geolocated in Los Angeles, but not everyone's on Facebook either. It's really difficult to get a good sampling frame that has a list of everyone in the population, okay? So this is difficult, okay? Perhaps we could get a list of all telephone numbers that have a Los Angeles area code, but chances are a lot of you are not from the Los Angeles area and you have a cell phone number that is tied to whenever you purchased your cell phone, and nobody really cares what your area code is. So it's hard, okay? We have no idea, all right? So anyway, Ideally, the sampling frame is a list of everyone in the population, but this is difficult, okay? But once you have your sampling frame, you will select people at random one by one. Okay, and what this this produces a sample. Well, so properties of a simple random sample. Will be that every single person has an equal chance of being selected. And every single possible sample. And what I mean by that is, there's this, basically, if you think of lotto numbers, okay, a lotto ticket with the numbers 1, 5, 15, 24, 86, or whatever, 63, has the exact same chance of the lotto ticket, 5, 7, 33, 42, 51, okay? And has the same probability as lotto ticket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever. They all have, every single combination of numbers has an equal chance of being selected. Every single possible sample has an equal chance of being selected. Okay, and so because of this, you are not guaranteed. You should get a representative sample, but it is possible that because of random chance, because of random sampling, you end up getting a sample that is not representative. Okay, it is theoretically possible to flip a coin 20 times and for it to end up heads all 20 times. Okay, it's very unlikely for that to happen, but it is theoretically possible. Okay, likewise, when you select a random sample, it's very unlikely, if you're going to do a random sample of the city of Los Angeles, it's very unlikely that your sample ends up being all male, but because of random chance, it is theoretically possible to end up with a sample that's all male. Okay? So anyway, this is simple random sampling. So anyway, this should give you a representative sample, and based on your observations on the representative sample, we can then make conclusions about the population in general. Okay? Let me give you kind of just a brief overview of where we are headed in our course. Okay, so we're going to start off with descriptive statistics. Okay. Okay, and what descriptive statistics is all about is about taking a bunch of numbers or a bunch of values or a bunch of observations and being able to summarize it with just a few numbers. Okay, because if we want to be able to compare, make apt descriptions about the population based on a sample, we don't want to have to talk about every single individual. So we want to be able to summarize a bunch of data with just a few numbers. Okay, so descriptive statistics is, summarizing large amounts of data with a few summaries. Okay, summary values. Okay. And so this is descriptive statistics. We're going to spend maybe the first 3 weeks of our course talking about descriptive statistics. Okay, and then we're going to talk about probability. Okay? And probability is all about the likelihood of observing certain outcomes. Okay? So this tells us the likelihood or the chance okay. We're going to extend our understanding of probability into describing probability distributions. So this is kind of an extension of these rules of probability into describing the likelihood or chance of observing certain outcomes that follow particular rules. Okay, and then from probability distributions we get into sampling distributions. Okay, and so sampling distributions tells us the probability of getting certain summary values. Okay. All right, so once we get to this point of sampling distributions, we then go back to our knowledge of descriptive statistics, and these come together into statistical inference. All right, and so essentially what we do in statistical inference is we take our data and we get summary values. We take our understanding of probability and we say, what is the probability of getting these summary values? And based on our understanding of that probability and the summary values that appear, we can then start answering questions about the population. Okay? So we summarize data with statistical inference. We summarize our data. We find the probability of getting our new summary values. Okay, and then based on our findings, we make conclusions about the population. Okay, so I guess, let's see. So descriptive statistics, this is kind of section 1. This will take us through midterm 1. This stuff over here, this path will take us to midterm 2. And then this over here will be our kind of our final exam. So this is kind of how the course is split up. Like I said, I love statistics. I hope you guys gain an appreciation for the subject. I'm looking forward to a great quarter with you guys, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. You guys have discussion section tomorrow, okay? So please go to your sections and have a good day.